Welcome back, everybody. It's me, spinachstealer, here with another episode of GregTech New Horizons. Now, last time, we ended up working on our basement here and getting a bunch of our steam machines set up. And the goal was to start working on the bricked blast furnace this episode. However, this bricked blast furnace requires a ton of bricks, which all require clay. And so instead of trying to dig up, hold on, let me get outside for a moment. Instead of trying to dig up the river for clay, which seemed a little bit difficult and time consuming, I decided that it might be more reasonable to try digging out the mesa and get some clay dust from macerating the clay, and then we can rehydrate it later. However, along the way, while I was doing that off camera, I ran into a couple hiccups. The first and foremost is that this pickaxe of ours is now made out of obsidian. And the reason for that was because we needed to mine the diamond ore way down here, and that required a harder pickaxe material than just the iron and such that we were using before. Now, we did have an obsidian pickaxe, but because I wanted to get the fortune 3 from the lapis, I decided to switch out the pickaxe head. Unfortunately, this caused the durability to drop down to 67, a very small amount. And we broke the pickaxe and we ran out of obsidian and we had to stock up. We have plenty now, but the way that we decided to stock up is a dangerous journey into the nether. So I ended up dying in here, maybe like 30 times. So I ended up dying a lot, and in the process I made a couple of staircases. This one goes up and we can see stuff like cobalt ore and various other goodies. Kind of just leads up to this level here. We also have, I believe, a path coming down to this level, as well as out this way. So plenty of paths out from the portal to kind of like the surface level. And this is what the first approach was. We tried like climbing down along the surface and trying to get to the lava in order to bucket it up. Unfortunately, there's a lot of very scary mobs here and we died way too many times. So after that and recovering our stuff, I decided to go for a safer route, which was just to dig a tunnel down to lava like so. And this also wasn't easy, but it was a little bit easier. And so we managed to scoop up some lava, as well as recover a ton from various other parts of the mission. And that is how we ended up getting this 60 obsidian. However, getting the obsidian isn't everything, because it still doesn't change the fact that the pickaxe only has 67 durability and needs to be repaired incredibly often. So the next thing that I looked into was trying to use, let me see if I can grab this. So if we look at our Tinker's book here and just scroll through all the way to the end, there's something it says about, right here, additional modifiers. So if we apply a diamond and a block of gold, we should be able to get an additional modifier, and we'll be using that in conjunction with this modifier right here of diamond, which increases the durability by 500. That's a huge increase, like 9 times as much. Now, the extra durability does require a gold block, and I tried using our smeltery over here, but it turns out, let's just go and test this. Turns out we have plenty of gold, 15 gold, but the casting basin doesn't work. Because of course, why would it be that easy? I'd gotten a little bit used to GregTech New Horizons not being super mean, but they aren't able to just give stuff out for free. So, if we look at the recipe for a gold block, we can see that it requires a compressor. So we should be able to take 9 gold ingots. We have a handful here. And we should be able to just toss them in our compressor from earlier, last episode. And this should give us a gold block. We have plenty of steam stockpiled. And here we are, a block of gold. Oh, looks like that was a quest as well. Let's go ahead and grab some diamonds, grab our gold block, and we should be able to just do this. Now we have another modifier on it, and we throw on a diamond, and there we are. 560 durability, so it should be a lot easier to repair and go mining with this pickaxe. It does still say broken. I wonder if that's the case. Let's try just to knock out one of these. Yeah, so we are going to need to repair it once. So it gets rid of that broken tag. But should be plenty to go mine out the clay from the mesa. So I'm going to go ahead and mine out some of that clay, and I'll get back once I have done so. Alright, back in base here, and we appear to have run into another issue. One that's been a long time coming. All of our chests are getting kind of full. And I've even started like throwing more chests down and more organization, but we don't have that much space left. Now, good news is that we have this iron chest mod. And so far we've only used up to gold chests, but I believe we can also make diamond chests. Requires plates and screws. Do we need anything special for this? We need a cutting machine. What about for this upgrade? We need glass panes? Oh, this is diamond to crystal, gold to diamond? Yeah, no, so we still need these plates from cutting blocks. It looks like we don't have another way of getting it. But at the very least, we can try to upgrade everything to gold chests, and that should help a small amount. So I'm going to go ahead and try to just replace all our storage here with gold chests. Alright, so we've got a whole bunch of gold chests. We still got a couple of the old iron and this copper chest, but that's fine for now. We have a now upgradable storage system. So just quickly glance through all of them, show you what we have. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. So we have plenty of, well, not plenty, but we have some amount of space to upgrade and expand our storage, and this will suffice for now. Back to the task at hand, which is building this bricked blast furnace. I was just skimming through, and I think, so we're going to want this fire clay to get fire bricks, and in order to make fire clay, we need to compress fire clay dust. And fire clay dust is made by crafting clay dust and brick dust. So that's this step right here. We're going to want 108 of each. In order to get 108 brick dust, we're going to need to macerate 108, 4 times that much. So 432 bricks. Bricks we would have to craft, but there's one quick thing, is we can extract 4 bricks from brick blocks. And we actually have a handful of brick blocks lying around somewhere. Are they in here or did I? Yeah, right here. So we have a handful of these brick blocks. So in order to save on crafting some bricks, we're going to want to make, one second. We're going to want to make an extractor, a steam extractor. A lot of this is straightforward. We just need glass, and thankfully there is a quest right here for getting glass. In order to do this, we're going to need quartz sand and flint dust, which we can get by just mortar with sand and mortar with flint. We turn that into glass dust by crafting. And then we can throw this in our tinker smeltery in order to get clear glass. And then we'd use that with a chisel to get regular glass. so we got ourselves a glass here, but I just wanted to point out, I noticed that we actually have a bunch of clear glass already gotten from like a quest reward, and I found that when I was going to grab our sticky piston. Let's go ahead and actually just finish off this quest then. That should knock this out. Boom. We can also grab this extra modifier quest. Alright, and now here is the extractor, so let's go ahead and finish crafting this with a bunch of bronze. And here we go, steam extractor finished. Let's go ahead and throw this down right around here. We can put down one of our pipes and just wrench it in. There we go, and there we go. So this should get steam now. Let's go ahead and grab our bricks and toss them into extract. And we'll let this run. I'm not quite sure how much it takes, but we'll just let it go. Back to making this fire clay. We unfortunately don't have enough bricks even with that extractor. So we're going to need to craft up some bricks, which requires a bunch of clay, which we can get by hydrating clay dust. And that's relevant because we don't actually have very much clay, only a small amount, but we do have a bunch of clay dust, and we have a bunch of stained clay that we can turn into clay dust with our mortar. So in order to hydrate, I've been looking at something, I don't remember exactly where it said, but we want to work towards this forestry work table. It can help us craft with buckets of water a lot better. And to do that, we need a bookshelf, which we can get with 3 books and 6 wood planks. And wood planks are made with compressor and wood pulp, which is why we already have a bunch of wood pulp. Mainly it's from wood, like logs gets us a bunch of pulp. So that's how we got this. We just threw a bunch of logs into our macerator, and now we're gonna throw it all into our compressor and craft up a bookshelf. And here we are, bookshelf done. Let's hand this in. Let's take a look at this work table. Looks like it's pretty straightforward, just screws, crafting table, chest, bookshelf, tools that we have. Yep, let's go ahead and get this crafted. Okay, here we go, work table done. And let's see what this looks like. Let's move this outside. So what the forestry work table lets us do is we save recipes in the right, and then we can click on them to bring them up in the left. And then we can just click and we can grab the outcome and it crafts with the attached inventory. So let me just grab some more water real quick. The big thing is that we can not only click, we can shift click. So it just crafted all it could right there. All right, so I think to make this easier, I'm gonna go ahead and craft up maybe 4 more buckets. And we'll get this clay converted in, this like clay dust converted into clay balls. Now, including the clay we had before, we're now up to 4 stacks of this stuff, which should be enough clay bricks. And now we do have the furnaces downstairs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and toss these in here, and we'll grab some creosote oil and get those cooking. Alright, so I've got the bricks that we need over here. It's 432 of them. Got a couple left over, but that's fine. I'm just gonna run them out over to here. And I want to test out if we can use the mortar in the crafting table with them. So just... that did work. So if I just shift click all these in, the next thing is we needed to turn this into one of this. Boom. And then we craft this with this. Boom. All right, so we have a bit of clay dust left over, but that's fine. We're gonna need it for some of the other steps, I believe. So we'll just hold on to it. Clay dust. And now we have this. This should be the 216 fire clay dust we need. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it into the compressor. I could set up a hopper for this, but I think I'll just manually throw in a stack every once in a while. It's not that much. Alright, so I am compressing the fire clay and it is getting processed. It's just taking a little bit of time, and while it's processing, instead of just waiting around idly, I think it might be useful to try to improve our production of steam in particular. So there is this Railcraft Steam Power quest, and I think it might be worthwhile to take a look at this. So we are going to need a couple more bricks. So we have 4 extra bricks, which is not quite enough for this. And this is just a bunch of bronze, which is no problem whatsoever. However, before I go try doing it directly, there was a railcraft thingy over at this village. I think it might be worthwhile to now check if any of those materials over there are useful to us now. Okay, so it looks like there's nothing really left here. I'm just going to grab these now because I might as well. But the main thing actually is it does save us a little bit of effort, is we can just snag some of these bricks. Alright, so we've made ourselves a solid fueled boiler firebox, which is what this quest wanted. And I think we can just hook this up now. I want to try making a 2x2 because I think it would fit nicely. So if we put a 2x2, okay, well there's our water intake pipe. But ideally, so we'd put 4 fireboxes and then 4 boiler tanks. These can be made with... we need a cutting machine or an extruder. Or we can use an alloy smelter, but oh, that's expensive. We're also going to need molds. We can cast a mold with our casting table, but we need steel. So it looks like this one's actually out of reach, and yeah, this one also requires steel. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we can use this Railcraft steam power, but I guess the future plan is to put like a 2x2 one right in the middle there. One thing that we can do is maybe that will help us is try making a Railcraft tank. Smallest tanks are 3x4x3. Let's try sticking one maybe like over here. Should be good. So a whole bunch of iron, but that's nothing that we can't handle. I'm gonna go ahead and craft all of this up, and I'll try to assemble it once we're done crafting. So I forgot to record, but we ended up crafting all of the components and getting it assembled here. Now it does say that it will auto output without pumps once we have a valve in the bottom, so just like that. And once we have a better boiler, like once we have the steel for this low pressure boiler tank with the mold and everything, then what we can do is we can we're going to put a 2x2 boiler right here, and we're just going to hook the steam output into this, and then the steam out from this into the machines. And so that's the plan. So we have finished all of our fire clay here. Let's go ahead and start cooking it up. Okay, so our fire clay is cooking. It will be done very shortly. In the meantime, we have also done... let's just go out and look. We've also got all of the ingredients, the calcite, the quartz, the stone, and the clay dust, in order to make these buckets of concrete. And it's of course right next to the water, so we can craft it up, but I thought it would be a lot of buckets to craft ahead of time, so we're just going to jam the materials in there, and we'll craft it once we are ready. The other thing that we are lacking to make the fire bricks is gypsum dust. So how do we get gypsum dust? It looks like there's not really a good way of doing it other than having to find some gypsum ore, and we have not done so already, and I have no idea what it would spawn with. If I knew what gypsum spawned with, I could use the ore finder wand, but unfortunately I don't. So it's gonna have to be manually digging holes until we find some gypsum. Alright, so I've been mining a little bit, and I finally found this basaltic mineral sand ore vein, which includes gypsum. And so you can see we got some gypsum ore right here. We can mine that up. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to mine out a bunch of gypsum from here, and then we'll get to crafting that bricked blast furnace. Alright, we've got ourselves the gypsum dust, so that should be everything we need now. Let's start by crafting up some concrete. I believe it was... Let's look it up actually. Concrete is bucket, water bucket, calcite, stone, quartz, sand. So stone, quartz, sand, calcite, and then I believe clay dust. Alright, so this should be the bucket of concrete. After that, we need to make fire bricks. So it's fire brick on the side, gypsum, concrete in the middle. Okay, here we go. 36 fire bricks. Let's go ahead and clear this. And the last thing we have to do is make the bricked blast furnace itself, which looks like... we need these in here actually. Here we go. Quest complete. So we already got gold ore berries, I believe, from one of the quests. There are ore berries for iron, copper, tin. So that means we should be claiming the essence ore berry. Alright. Now, the main thing, of course, is setting this up. And we'll throw it right next to the coke oven. There's space here. Alright, and then smack it with a mallet. Okay, I guess it's done. Now we need iron. Let me just check. How do we actually make steel? We'll go back to Steam Age. How do we make this? Just coal, coke, and iron? Alright, so we have coke. We've been cooking up coke slowly. Let's go ahead and throw that here. Okay, let's go ahead and throw this in, and let's go. 240 seconds? That's 4 minutes, I believe? So it's 4 minutes per steel ingot. That's slow. Thankfully, we can just AFK a bunch, effectively, take care of some other odds and ends, and it's just a matter of waiting. You probably want more of these in the future, but boy was it expensive to get just one. So we'll probably stick with just one for now, and we'll be a little bit sparing with the amount of steel that we use. We'll be using very little for the time being, just because it's so hard to get. In any case, now that we have our bricked blast furnace and we've made our way into the Steel Age, I think this is a good place to end the episode. We'll explore all of the different things that we can do with steel, such as making alumite and all the other quests in the book on the next episode of GregTech New Horizons.